Miller with the Miller Elder Law Firm.
Hi, everybody. I'm Star Bradbury with Senior Living Strategies. It's nice to be here today, and I'm learning so much from Shannon. She's a wealth of information. And today we want to just chat with you briefly about the Elder Risk Detector, but on the criminal side. The first video we did was the Elder Law Risk Detector, Elder Risk Detector, really on the civilian side or the advocate side or anyone working face-to-face with seniors that are concerned that maybe there's something amiss and they want to try to help them. But I just found out today that there's a whole new aspect to the Elder Risk Detector that goes into the criminal side. For who is this for?
So this is intended for law enforcement. It's intended for anyone like at the prosecutor's office or people that are dealing with law enforcement issues, even adult protective services. Sometimes they will have to kind of engage in a law enforcement type interview.
Right.
And I think one of the problems that comes along in particular with law enforcement that isn't adult protective services is that they have very little background in training how to detect someone who's exploitable or who's vulnerable.
Now, why was there a need to develop this side of the Elder Risk Detector as opposed to the civilian side? Did it just not have enough teeth, so to speak, for prosecution?
So from the civilian side, we're really looking for remedies that would be civilian remedies. So things like the exploitation injunction, which is a civil process, or maybe connecting people with legal aid if there were abuses that were not quite rising to the level of criminal conduct.
Right.
There might be resources in the community that could still help that person.
I actually remember hearing that, let's say you have a client who's having healthcare issues, or they can't pay their rent, or they need medications, that even those kinds of issues could be referred or helped through the civilian side, through the Elder Risk Detector website. But you're talking now about the criminal side. Yeah. So that would be for an attorney, possibly law enforcement. Who else? Who else would use that?
Maybe adult protective services, but really it's law enforcement.
Okay.
That's the primary goal.
And does this help them, as a non-attorney, gather evidence or build a case against someone if it reaches the level of possible criminal charge?
So more along the lines of they might go out and find out that a person is giving their money to a healthcare provider, or they're giving their money to a child.
Well, this happens all the time. Sadly.
And that law enforcement officer
willingly giving it, you're sort of implying that they're being scammed, or that they're being taken advantage of.
Typically what we see is that victim is giving their money away willingly. So what law enforcement has to determine is whether or not that person has the ability to make that decision. Are they being unduly influenced, or are they being forced in some way? So a lot of times what we hear with exploitation is that really the victim is being told, like, I'm the only one who cares about you. I'm the only one who's going to make sure you don't go into the nursing home. And I'm the only one, all your other people have stolen from you or abandoned you, or they don't want to talk to you. And so what law enforcement, now we're trying to train law enforcement
is to look for those.
Yeah, look for the vulnerability. So as we age, we know our brains become more exploitable. As a general rule, our brains we have this thinning of the cortical insula. And so when that happens, we tend to be more willing to believe what people tell us.
When you want to. Most people are inclined to try to trust somebody. We're not taught to be highly skeptical. And as you get older, it's less and less. Well, the statistics, Shannon, are frightening.
Yes.
I mean, every year I start seeing the numbers go up for the amount of money that people are losing to these kinds of being taken advantage of.
And it is a perfect storm because we do see that the studies also tell us that you do become more trusting as you age. So it's not just that we're trusting, it's as we age, we become even more trusting.
Vulnerable.
And we're more likely to be targeted because we have the most money. As we age, we end up with quite a bit of money for retirement. So really, it's a perfect storm.
I think that there was that movie that came out a few months ago. I really care, or I care
a lot.
I care a lot.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen that, watch it. It's a little frightening, but it will be an eye opener about the kinds of people that could be out there trying to take advantage of our beloved seniors. So that's great. I'm learning a lot of things. And if you are in law enforcement or you're in senior protective services, please check out this new tool. It will be a big help to you.